This Chad's Media special presentation is brought to you by Alliance Bank.
When it comes to the Friday Night Lights, one thing reigns supreme: experience. And on the defensive side of the ball, the Wildcats have plenty of it. But with the departure of Coach Page and Coach Newton now taking the reins of what looks to be a dominating defense, the focus is tightened down to a simple idea.
We're going to play relentless. There's bodies flying everywhere. We're coming downhill, but it's organized. Everyone has a job. We're going to be in the right spot. We're smart. That's another pillar of our defense, is being smart. We play extremely fast. We can go through our progressions, we can go through our reads extremely fast. And then the last one, when you show up to the football, you better be in a bad mood and it better be violent. Or if you're striking with your hands, it better be violent.
We need to change it from inside hand circuit to violent hand circuit. Give me guys on the other side of the pad, please. Good, strike. Good, there we go, there we go. Hey, read spots, read spots. Okay, I want to see you there. I told you what's coming. I want to see you there perfectly right now. Good steps. Go, Drew. Good. Physical, physical, physical. Even when you get tired, find it deep for your teammates. Be great teammates, and let's finish this practice off right with team. Here we go. Position, ready.
Switched over to 3-4. We graduated 3 defensive linemen, and we were loaded at linebacker. And so how can we get more of these guys on the field? And this was the way. So we really had it all season. We hopped in a 3-man front in our scrimmages last year, and we hopped in several games. And there were several games we didn't. So if you go back to Springtown, we spent a lot of time in the 3-man front. Alvarado, we started in a 4-man front, went to the 3-man front. So the kids already had an idea of the basic structure. We changed, we tweaked a few things to fit our needs and to fit schematically the structure of the defense as a whole, going full on 3-4. But it's been awesome. Kids are playing fast. So starting on the inside, you have Alex McCormick and Alex King. They get mad at me every day because I'll say, Alex, and I'll start coaching one of them, and neither one of them will know I'm talking to every day. So, I have to call them King and McCormick. I can't call them by their first name. But they're 2 returning all-district players, really, really good players, really fun to work with. We moved Grayson Hardy from safety to outside backer. We'll put him to the field with his length and his speed. It's been awesome. We got TJ Bolden. He'll be to the boundary with Preston Nottingham. They're 2 great players, 2 physical kids, big kids. That's the other thing too is, we're big kids. We got a bunch of big linebackers that can run, and that's the whole point. Ryan Carr, he also moved from safety. He played on the JV last year, but he's a great player. And then a couple more seniors. These are all seniors. Keenan Morris and Zay Godbolt are also in the middle. So we have a senior-heavy group, lots of experience. Most of them played on Friday nights last year, and if they didn't play on Friday nights, they played every down on a Thursday night and got as many reps as the varsity guys did. So we're really excited about this group.
Into year number 9 in the state, predicted to go to the regional final. Up to this point, you've really got to play the role of underdog, and as the team hasn't gotten the love they deserve, now you're starting to get it. What's the difference in that kind of been like?
Yeah, they finally did it to us, didn't they? The underdog's easy. You can use the underdog, the disrespecting us card, and it's an easy motivator. But who are you going to be whenever the lights are on you? Who are you going to be when the pressure's on? So that's been the mindset flip. It's different. We are the hunted now, so we still have to be in attack mode. That's the thing. We cannot lax every day. You'll hear us in that. You'll see us, in our conditioning at the end of practice. I mean, you guys have been at all our practices. We practice hard, we practice fast, and we practice furious. There's not a lot of break. You're flying to the ball every rep, and then we're going to run you and probably lift you or film you. We're going to ask a lot. So we're going to apply pressure as coaches on our kids and put them in adverse situations, getting them breathing heavy, getting them tired, understanding like, hey, everyone's coming for you now. But the thing is we're still picked 3rd in our district. We're in the best district in the state. So still can play both ways. You know what I mean? Statewide, yeah. We're a front runner. In our own district, we're an underdog. So we still have something to prove. We've set the bar super, super high. We'll never lower it for them. And they understand that. They understand that, today we went to practice. We had a really good, really hard practice. We ran a lot. We ran after practice, and they understood the standard of we've got to come in and we've got to stay strong in the weight room. And it's not even a question. It's not even a question. They get they get what we're doing. They get why we're doing it, and that's where success is coming.
Grayson Hardy.
TJ Bolden.
Godbolt. Play outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker, middle linebacker.
And I'm a senior. Senior.
Senior.
Most of us been playing together since 2nd grade, like pee-wee ball, so we have a lot of chemistry coming into this year, and I think that's what's going to help us get past the other teams that have just as much skill as us, is that our chemistry is going to help us prepare for it, and we're not going to fall back on each other. We're always going to have each other's back, and we're just going to get the job done at the end of the day.
When I walked in, everyone was very welcoming. Like, they all wanted to talk to me, get to know me. Like, everyone was friends, like, from the beginning. So it was kind of nice being able to walk in somewhere that everyone just welcomes you in. Grayson, TJ, like, we all just be at practice like this is our last year, you know, show up, let's get it. You know, just hold each other to a high standard so that way, you know, if somebody does not meet it, they'll still be pretty high. As seniors, like, we're all always on each other. We're pushing each other no matter what. Like, someone takes a rep off, I mean, they're going to hear from everybody. And it's not just the linebackers. Like, they'll hear from the safeties and especially the D-line. So, I mean, as the younger kids come up, they already know what the expectation is. So they're just going to have to step in that role and do what they do.
It's a lot of pressure, but ever since we've been in 8th grade, we've always been told that we're going to be a class that comes out in high school and comes and do something. So we have a lot of expectations, and I'm just hoping we can feel it. Like, I remember, like, my first ever game, real varsity game, underneath the Friday Night Lights. It was so packed. I could hear the band. I was like, dang, this is it. Then I was like, I'm going to go to Whataburger. I go to Whataburger. You know, I play pretty good. When I get there, everybody's watching film, Chaz Media. We don't even have huddle. We're watching Chaz Media. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get on it. We get to rewind it, just that. The fans, the band, and just everyone in general, just as a community, like, everyone's so behind the football team, and it's just, like, I love that we have a town that supports our football team, and everyone loves to watch and stuff like that, and just the Friday Night Light games, them are just something else special.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise.
Honey, 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 honey. Good.
Run in the shadow, down comes the night. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. If you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain.
Vincent Johnson, 77, senior. Aiden McCarroll, 70, senior.
Trip McIntyre, 65, senior.
Josh Lopez, 59, senior.
Jeffrey Stevenson, 54, senior.
What's y'all's earliest memory, like, of each other?
Me and Trip on the
Me and Vincent fighting.
fight.
Me and Vince used to fight. We had like so many problems with each other. Like pre-K, that's when we fought.
What are the expectations like on this group as a whole? Trip.
They're pretty high. I mean, we're set to a pretty high standard.
You're still not zero and winning. Do it again. Do it again. That's why it's spinning. You're easing your hand into it. As soon as you collision, lift that thing. Let's go. Do it again. Okay, so I high knee into it. Yes? Jeff, if your linebacker goes this way, I'm high knee into it. So all we're doing right here is we're setting it, and then we're seeing our linebacker. He's down. I engage, take off late.
Just like staying consistent and just trying to improve every day.
What can they expect out of this offensive line group?
Us to be physical and come off the ball. Our details be perfect, most likely.
Pretty dominant run game.
Staying consistent.
Execution.
What's it like being a part of Coach Medlock's position group?
It's great, man.
No complaints whatsoever.
Medlock's the top to give us hugs at the end of practice.
Like he gave us popsicles during fall camp.
You have no reason to leave, correct, Jeffrey? No reason to leave unless I feel Josh Bump Friday. I couldn't have been more upset. Even front, you choke, let him run by you, and then run on the wheel like this is somebody else's problem. The point is the first backer. The idea is the guy we're comboing to. Let's go. Inside. Good. Go, Gavin. Punch, come in the linebacker. Not make me sad. You know what you're doing here. Give it high. Yes, sir. Aiden McCarroll, that is big boy. Good. Day. That's a pull. Yeah. That's a pull, boy. That's it.
That's not terrible. Not terrible. What would I, in a perfect world, what would I like? I'd love for that hand to get set, yes. Why are you so wide? Where you gotta go? No, it's just tag. Outside. We're just going outside. Keep running. No, I don't want to keep running. Once I fill him in, shut your feet down. That'll work! That'll work!
We love him a lot.
We love him a lot. That's my favorite coach.
He's so nice to us.
He's so positive, but when you get to Coach Mathis, that's when you just gotta like
Calm down. He's the scary coach.
He's the one that'll like bring the pressure.
My name is Peter Medlock. This is my 18th year coaching, offensive coordinator and offensive line coach at Sulphur Springs High School. Where we're at now, you know, I always say it feels like, in one sense, it feels like yesterday we were showing up in January of 22, and these were a bunch of 8th graders. But in another sense, when you think about all the bridges we've crossed, it seems like an eternity to a certain degree. Now that we're not under the radar as we were, and one of the messages we've been trying to drive home all offseason is that, you know, we're not going to steal one from anybody anymore. There's a target on our back now, whereas the last 3 years, you know, we were just working to get up the mountain. Now people know who we are. We're not going to get a down game from anybody. For our position group, I've really tried to use the idea that if that's who you think you are, then you have to prove that's who you are. There's nothing worse than people talking great about you and you disappointing because you start to feel like because my name was in a magazine, I've arrived. That has been my very, very, very pointed vocal message, really going back to the end of last year when we walked off the field and got back here and got our kids back after the Alvarado game, is that you're not a surprise to anybody anymore. And now if you are what you think you are, you have to prove that. Otherwise it's all wasted. Otherwise it's a lot of talent just washed down the drain because we couldn't mentally and emotionally hold on to what we had to have. There's still a handful of teams out there that would be classified as a level up from Sulphur Springs. While I do believe we have done an outstanding job of putting ourselves in those conversations, there's still a handful of those games out there and a handful of those teams that we've got to go get that win against. I believe that talent-wise, we have the tools to do that. Ultimately, it comes down to where we're at mentally. It comes down to the maturity of our emotion as a team, and if we can hold on to, you know, winning every moment per se, because we're going to play. If we're who we say we are, we're going to play a lot of games. The hardest thing is to be emotionally on your A game every game, and to be at your best every game. The old adage, win the day, and it's probably overused at this stage of, you know, Chip Kelly started saying it at Oregon, and it's become a mantra for really anybody who's successful at this point. But when you can get 17 and 18-year-old kids to understand that and live in the moment and be your best in the moment, you've really gotten somewhere. There's probably 10 to 12 teams in the state of Texas that have a chance to play in the last game. And the separation of those teams generally is not just a ton. It's not a ton of separation. I'm convinced it's what your habits are on the day-to-day that separate those teams. You have to prove who you think you are and who some people who don't know you say you are. Our very first day of spring ball in May of 22, all our seniors were 8th graders. We were getting out on the grass for the first time, just beginning to teach them the very, very, very most basic fundamentals of what we do offensively. My evaluation of these guys up to that point, looking at who they were, looking at what positions and there was a lot of position changes at that time. We were, guys were in places that we would never put them. And so as we kind of started working that out, I had a pretty big group of O-line kids down there. And as I had watched them over the last 2 months, 3 months in off season, I had kind of started making notes in my mind as to who I really thought the guys were. A couple of them, there was no doubt. But the first day that we lined up an offensive line when they were 8th graders, left to right is the same group that's jumping out there for us right now. That's the first time in my career that's ever happened, to where you predict what it's going to look like or what it could look like, and then that ends up being the 5 seniors that are walking out there for you 4 years later. That's a really special thing to me because I always try to think 18 months ahead. And what are we looking What are our freshmen going to be in 18 months? What are our sophomores going to be in 18 months? And in May of 22, I thought, my gosh, if those 5 are running out there for us and they develop the way I feel like they can develop and mentally and physically, and we're going to have something. And oddly enough, when we walked out here for our first day of spring, and our kids knew who was walking out there. It wasn't a surprise to them. But I told Coach Faircloth, I said, you may not remember, but May the whatever, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever day it was, that was the 5 that walked out there that first day of spring that I put in that first group. And we both just thought about that for a minute, that like, man, that doesn't happen. You always, in high school football, you have kids get injured, you have kids quit, you have kids, take other interests in other things, and that's all fine. My goal in every class is to find 3 kids that can be bona fide starters for us. If you find 3 in every class, you're going to have depth. You're going to have, a pretty smooth transition each and every graduating class. But to find 5 in one class is really special. And these guys, maybe the most special group I've ever coached, not only because of their talent, but because how much I just enjoy being around them. I enjoy watching them develop. I enjoy seeing who they are together and who they're becoming as young men. I couldn't be more proud of them because football will be over for them one day, and I feel like all 5 of them are going to go on to do something good with their lives. I feel like they're going to be good men. I feel like they'll be good husbands, good fathers. I'm a guy who doesn't talk to a lot of people, virtually nobody from high school, but it's hard for me to imagine a group like them entirely losing touch because they operate so well together. They put a lot of pressure on each other, and they demand a lot out of each other, and for that, maybe that's the part that I'm the most proud of, is the standard that they hold each other to. Because if you get that out of kids, you're going somewhere where they have a lot more expectation on each other and of themselves than I can put on them. It's one thing for a coach to jump on you. It's another thing for the guy that you've grown up with to jump on you. And when I see that, man, I'm happy to step back and let them work it out, because I know that it's going to mean a lot more coming from their buddy who's going to be their friend forever than it is coming from me, because I'm just supposed to do it. They're an outstanding group of guys. I'm thrilled as I can be to coach them. I have a blast with them every day, and even in our rough spots, I'm really blessed to have gotten to be their coach for this long. It really doesn't happen that way very often, and so it's a huge blessing.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older.